Welcome to a breaking news version of Courtroom Conversations, right here on the Classic Courtroom YouTube channel.
Breaking news.
We've got a major development to cover today.
Big one.
The Supreme Court, they just issued a ruling
Mm-hmm.
on the future of TikTok in the U.S.
Right.
I'm Dylan Brooks Hamilton.
And I'm Susan Kelly Ashford.
Before we really break down this decision and what it all means for you, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Classic Courtroom
Absolutely.
for more deep dives into fascinating legal cases.
That's right.
So, to set the stage,
Right.
the Supreme Court unanimously upheld a federal law
Wow.
that could effectively ban TikTok in the U.S.
Okay.
unless its Chinese parent company, ByteDance, decides to sell it.
Interesting.
What's really fascinating here is this isn't just a straightforward legal case about an app.
Yeah.
This thing really touches on a lot of different nerves.
It does.
National security, free speech, international relations,
Big ones.
even a little bit of presidential drama.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start by unpacking the Supreme Court's decision itself.
Okay.
What were the key points of this ruling, and how did the court arrive at its decision?
Well, the court basically said that the potential threat to national security posed by TikTok's ties to China outweighs any concerns about limiting free speech.
So they're essentially saying that the risk of the Chinese government potentially accessing user data through TikTok is a big enough concern to justify restricting the app's availability.
That's right. They're saying that that's a risk they're not willing to take.
Now, does this automatically mean that TikTok is banned in the United States?
Not necessarily. The law actually gives ByteDance the option to sell TikTok to a U.S. buyer.
Okay.
If that happens, TikTok could potentially stay.
But if they don't sell?
Then, as of January 19th, app stores like Apple and Google will be barred from offering TikTok, and internet providers won't be able to host it here in the U.S.
So for all intents and purposes, it could disappear overnight.
That's the potential we're facing. Although, users who already have the app might still be able to access it for a while, but eventually, without updates and support, it would become unusable.
And this is a very real concern for the millions of people who use TikTok every single day.
Millions.
It really throws into question what happens to those users,
Yeah.
especially creators who rely on the platform for income,
Right.
if TikTok suddenly becomes inaccessible.
Huge question.
This is where the national security concerns come into play.
Yeah.
Let's delve into that a little deeper.
Okay.
What exactly is the U.S. government's argument here?
Their primary worry is the amount of data TikTok collects on its users, which includes things like viewing habits and personal information.
Right.
They're concerned that this data could end up in the hands of the Chinese government.
Are they suggesting that the Chinese government is actively spying on American TikTok users?
It's important to note that the government hasn't provided concrete evidence of this happening. However, their argument is that under Chinese law, companies like ByteDance are obligated to share data with the government if requested.
So it's more of a preventative measure based on a potential risk.
That's how they're framing it. They're also concerned about the possibility of the Chinese government using TikTok's algorithm to manipulate what American users see.
How would that work in practice?
Well, think of it this way. The algorithm determines what videos appear on your For You page. If it's being manipulated, certain types of content could be promoted or suppressed without users even realizing it.
So potentially information or viewpoints that are unfavorable to the Chinese government could be subtly filtered out.
Exactly. And that raises concerns about censorship and the potential for influencing public opinion.
Now, what has TikTok's response been to these allegations?
TikTok has repeatedly denied sharing user data with the Chinese government. They emphasize that they have strict data security measures in place and that U.S. user data is stored on servers in the U.S. with backups in Singapore.
Okay.
They also deny any manipulation of their algorithm, stating that the U.S. government hasn't presented any proof of such activity.
So it seems like we're in a bit of a he said, she said situation.
It really boils down to who you trust more, TikTok's assurances or the U.S. government's concerns.
And in this instance, the Supreme Court seems to be siding with the government.
They do.
Their decision suggests they believe the potential risks are serious enough to justify potentially banning the app.
Seems that way.
The future of the internet isn't predetermined. It's being written right now.
Right now.
And we all have a part to play in shaping its direction.
We do.
Well, thank you for joining us on this breaking news edition of Courtroom Conversations.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope this deep dive has provided you with valuable insights
I hope so.
and encouraged you to think critically about these very complex issues.
Me too.
Remember to like this video and subscribe to Classic Courtroom for more deep dives into fascinating legal cases that really do impact your life.
They do.
Until next time, stay curious and stay engaged in the conversation.